Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Channel Dad Bryon Lape Reads. And I want to say a warm welcome to all new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for clicking that like and ringing that bell for notifications. I know the videos last couple weeks have been kind of lax, but hopefully now, who knows? We'll see what this week brings. But anyway, I saw this on, this popped up as part of a new tab in my browser, and I was like, this is very interesting because I know some people that suffer from this. This is from getpocket.com. Actually, it looks like it was originally from The Guardian with Elle Hunt. Or Ella, not Helen. Elle Hunt, Ella Hunt, or Elle Hunt. So this is very interesting. Some people, like I said, I know some people that suffer from this, and sleep apnea and sleep hygiene. It can be, quite serious for some folks. So shut-eye and sleep hygiene, the truth about why you keep waking up at 3 a.m. You eschew caffeine after lunch, you stop drinking alcohol and eat healthy, but you're still staring at the ceiling in the small hours. Here's why. Let's see if this applies to you. So this lady, I guess, is a picture of a lady just looking at the clock going, oh, why can't I get back to sleep? You land in your body with a start, or else slowly comes into groggy focus. Either way, it's nighttime, but you are now awake. Why? Alice Gregory, a psychology. My goodness. I wanted to say psychological. I don't know why. Psychology professor at Goldsmith University of London and the author of Nodding Off says it's quite normal to wake up during the night. Okay. Usually I have to get up and pee because I'm at age. After dropping off, we've moved through different stages of sleep, a cycle that takes the average adult about 90 minutes to complete and speeds up toward morning. Toward morning, not towards morning. The night is also punctuated by brief awakenings. Typically, people return to sleep without realizing they had ever been awake. But this is one of the things. Quite often, you'll get up, you'll move your pillow around, maybe you grab the covers, maybe you rotate a little bit, get a little more comfortable, and bam, you're back asleep, awake like a minute and a half. But sometimes we might at least be more aware or pulled entirely awake. Very awkward sentence, but this is London, so maybe the English is different. Reasons range from fairly obvious, being too cold or needing the loo. Definitely having a nightmare, crying baby. Yeah, someone wakes you up, to the medical, can't breathe, sleep apnea, there you go. Or nocturium, excessive nighttime urination. Waking up during the night also does not necessarily mean you have insomnia, which, says Gregory, is diagnosed alongside other criteria such as the frequency of this occurrence and how long it has been happening. If you find yourself waking regularly during the night, certainly flag this to your GP, so your general practitioner. Let your doctor know. Just when you have your checkup again, or if you're in there for, let's say you got flu or something, and you go to the doctor, they might say, "How have you been sleeping?" I said, "Well, maybe it's the illness, right? Maybe you have no problems at all, but now you're sick and you can't sleep." Or you say, for the last several months, this is what's been going on. Because it might be part of why you're ill too. Still, sleep deprivation takes its own toll, from irritability and reduced focus in the short term to an increased risk of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. And I would say definitely it does wreak havoc with your immune system when you can't really get everything flushed out. There's a lot of things that your subconscious mind needs to work out during the night. Find yourself regularly waking up without any apparent reason. What can you do about it? It is a misconception that we sleep the night through. Nobody ever does. Waking as much as 5 to 7 times a night is not necessarily a cause for concern. The most important thing is how you feel when you get up. In the morning, do you feel refreshed or groggy or unable to function 30 minutes after waking? I usually feel groggy until I get moving. And my problem is, I think sometimes I go back to bed and I get too much sleep. I kind of start to cycle over again. If there's nothing to suggest an underlying medical issue, Fisher will look at the bigger picture with a patient. It's really important to know if they have children. Do they have a partner who snores or works shifts? There you go. That also can happen. Kids coming in late, the dog's barking at 2 o'clock in the morning. They might have their own sleep issues, but they might be sleeping next to someone who does. They might not have their own sleep issues, and that's true. Lifestyle changes can make a big difference, even for people suffering from sleep apnea, although that should be treated by a specialist. It's hackneyed to point the finger at caffeine, but people tend to underestimate how long its effects can last. That's definitely true. And a lot of it just depends. To stop consuming 2 to 3 p.m. Water intake during the day is also a factor. Even going to bed mildly dehydrated can disrupt your sleep. Or if you're drinking too much, you can wake up too many times to pee. Similarly, although people commonly turn to alcohol to help them fall asleep, Fisher says 1 in 10 use it as a sleep aid. It has a disruptive effect beyond the initial crash, causing spikes in blood sugar. Yeah, a lot of it depends on what you're drinking, too. If you're drinking a lot of fruity drinks or beer or something like that, may not work too well. Diet can affect in the same way with anti-sleep foods that are high in sugar and cause flatulence or heartburn, such as broccoli and cabbage. Yeah, the sugar gets your body going. A pro-sleep bedtime snack is a small amount of complex carbohydrates and protein, such as whole grain cereal with milk or toast, breakfast cereal. An anti-inflammatory diet favoring fruits, vegetables, lean proteins. This is a misnomer here. You actually need fatty proteins. This is something that the dietitian started 40 years ago, and it will not go away. If you have chicken breasts at night, that's bad. But if you had a nice piece of red meat, like maybe half as much as you think you need, especially if it's grass-fed, so you get the omega-6 down, you won't have inflammation problems. And actually, your body will have to work harder to do it. And limited processed food, red meats, and alcohol. This is baloney. This is true. This is true. This is baloney. It has been shown to be baloney for almost 2 decades now. Because that's where you're going to find your healthy fats, salmon, fish, things like that too. You will not find healthy fats in lean protein. Fats and lean are opposites. As for exercise, although being active during the day aids sleep, anything strenuous is to be avoided before bedtime. This is part of why I work out in the morning now, because I couldn't sleep at night. It was too hot. A lot of advice for preventing late night awakenings falls under the umbrella of what has to be known as a good sleep hygiene. Restrict the body to sleep and sex, the bedroom to sleep and sex, ban screens emanating blue light. Absolutely. I've been trying to get my wife to. I leave my phone off in the kitchen, and our bedroom's at the other end of the house. And that's usually when I recharge my phone too. I turn it off, plug it in, turn it off, and walk the length of the house. Our bedrooms, even our beds, have come to double as home cinemas, offices, a dining room maybe. Yeah. Get the TV out of the room. Just go there to sleep and have sex. Well, if you're married, then you're not going to be doing that anyway. I would be amazed at how significant that is for sleep. You're training to associate your food with wakefulness, your bed with wakefulness. Okay, there's a subconscious trigger there. For that reason, if you struggles to fall asleep on waking up during the night, the advice is to get up for a bit. Don't just lie there. It's counterproductive. So too is looking at the clock, especially if it doubles as your phone. As soon as your brain is registered that it's 2 a.m., you convince yourself that there's a lot, that's your lot. Yeah, this is the thing. Your mind gets going. You can't fall asleep. For many of us, bedtime might be our first opportunity of the day to be alone with our thoughts. She says, it's connected to waking in the night, because if you haven't had any processing time during the day, it's the first time we stop and just be. This is also where breathing exercises can help. Just, after you've kind of calmed down, shut everything off, do some breathing exercises in bed. Again, you're trying to associate relaxation and sleepfulness with the bed. Manage stress and anxiety during waking hours, and learning how to relax body and mind are key to a good night's sleep. But ironically, fixating on getting your full 8 hours can make it harder to achieve. Yeah, this is the psychological loop then starts. Oh, I can't, A mindset change may be what's needed. People might have this belief that they are a bad sleeper and there's nothing that they can do about it. Sometimes it's about changing people's perceptions of what good sleep looks like. Really cannot bear fitness trackers, which monitor sleep for focusing people's minds on often incorrect data. It is wrong to assume that you must sleep through the night. Every night, she says, we all have blips on our sleep, and it's going to be that you sleep brilliantly all the time. It's never going to be. It really helps when you read the words that are there. But accepting that, even as you lie awake hours before dawn, might be the first step toward it. So some of this is, understand you have an issue and figure out what's going on. And I do have firsthand knowledge of this, where I was saying this is crap and this is baloney. This is nonsense. Recently, I've started eating some about almost half a pound, but rice and a mixture with nuts and red meat, actually, and it is grass-fed beef, which makes a big difference. When I was just using ground beef several years ago, I actually would get heartburn because it was too high in omega-6s, and now I don't. Now I take fish oil and all that stuff during the day as well. But you really need the corn-fed stuff. Really ought to be taken off the market. The corn-fed stuff is what's killing people. But grass and grain-fed beefs, as well as your more free-range eggs and stuff like that, much lower in omega-6s, and that's what causes a lot of inflammation for people and leads to heart disease and all that other stuff. So do not do lean proteins. I would not do vegetables. Many vegetables will cause gas. Fruits are too sweet unless they're a very unsweet fruit, but maybe a banana, but maybe a sour apple. But again, they say to avoid sugar, and then they talk about fruits, which is baloney. But I would say grass-fed beef or bison, that type of thing, more natural beef-oriented things, seeds, nuts, absolutely, and things like salmon, maybe tuna, stuff that's high in fats naturally. And skip this part of it. This is not going to work. All right, so what do you think of the article? What do you think of what is here? Do you think I'm full of it? Do you think the article's full of it? Do you have trouble sleeping? If you had trouble sleeping and you found a remedy, what was your way of dealing with it? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much, and good day.